Welcome back to the Sports Ball Grinder. Some stuff going on, a little travel, a little bit of work stuff. Wanted to let the dust settle. Last we talked to you, Doug and I talked a little bit about the NFL draft coming up. The draft has come and gone. We've had some free agent signings. We've had a big trade. We've had retirement. We'll talk all about that. We'll get into a little bit of NBA, a little Major League Baseball talk, as well as also talking about a few other things going on around the world of sports. Of course, for the casuals, by the casuals. We're here not to hit all the news, not to be another just talking head, but appreciate you listening along and giving us some time to get some stuff done. Hey, it's spring. It's heading into summer. We all got stuff going on, right? We know what it's like. So let's get into this real quick. Lots of stuff that I want to hit today. I want to start with the NBA playoffs. And I'm not going to get into the semifinal matchups and things going on right now. I do think there's some fun basketball to be had. But I'm just going to pick a little bit at folks that like to go, oh man, you can't watch March Madness. It's not nearly the same. The NBA playoffs are where it's at. And competition-wise, the best athletes are playing in the NBA. There's no argument from me here on that, okay? But as far as a compelling watch, it's not even close. And I don't care what the TV ratings are. I'm just talking about as a casual sports fan, you want to watch some sports, want to watch a little basketball. March Madness is engrossing. It's fun. It's full of storylines. You get Cinderella, or you get this hot team. You watch these teams come together and get on a roll and a run. It's a lot of fun. The NBA playoffs are incredibly hit and miss. It's like bass fishing in the summer. You can guess the weather. You can have the right baits. You can have all the coverage and the foliage you want and throw 100 times and get nothing. You can go out on a terrible day on your lunch break and catch 3. And that's the way the NBA playoffs are going right now. You got teams shooting 20% from the three-point line over the course of a game, 35% over the course of a game from the field. No one seems to be able to do the mid-range anymore. It's all dunks and threes. And I know that sounds reductive, but look at the numbers. And what that creates is when you get teams that go on runs, you get these score-a-paloozas. That's a lot of fun. I mean, those can be fun. But when they go cold, oh man, it's a lot of doink and miss and just it's tough. If you're not a fan of a particular team, you're not following a particular player right now, this is tough to watch. March Madness, you don't have to know any of the players. You barely even need to know who the teams are, and you can just get engrossed in the fun of it. And just ask yourself, when's the last time somebody asked you to fill out an NBA bracket? They don't. March Madness is a more geared toward the casual sports fan. That's my argument. Now, NBA playoffs are producing some interesting stories. Denver and Oklahoma City are waging just battles with each other. And they go between cold and hot battles. But, I mean, you've got Jokic on one side with a great supporting cast. You've got that young, exciting team, but around Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren and all those guys in Oklahoma City duking it out. That's fun. And then you've got the Knicks and the Celtics in the East beating on each other. You know, the Knicks stole 2 games. The Celtics are trying to roar back. You've got Indianapolis absolutely taking Cleveland out back. Cleveland has been the far and away 1 seed the whole time, and now they are absolutely getting put in the woodshed. It's wild, all right? I mean, you are getting some wild stuff. And then, hey, let's not forget, the T-Wolves and the Warriors are playing good basketball too. There's some fun there, all right? Game 4 is coming up. You know, tonight as we're recording this on Monday, putting it out. That's going to be a fun one. T-Wolves could be in full control, go up 3-1 in that one, or it could go back to tie. We'll see. Is Steph going to play? Probably not. You know, he's hurt. Warriors are a very different team without him on the floor, but they better get used to that. That's going to be reality. I'm not saying there's not good basketball in the NBA, but let's not hold that the mystique and the fun of it is the same as March Madness, because in my opinion, it is not. All right. There's still some good stuff out there, but check in if you want. But don't get wrong. Never confuse what the NBA is doing with what March Madness is. Different basketball, completely. Major League Baseball is in full swing. Feels like it's the time of year for it. It's starting to heat up a little bit. Time to get out to a park. You know, college baseball World Series and softball World Series coming up. May have a guest on for that. Stay tuned. We'll get around to those. But just talking about Major League Baseball right now. I mean, we already got managers getting fired. Derek Shelton's out in Pittsburgh with the Pirates. Bud Black's out with the Rockies. Will Venable still hanging on with the White Sox for now, but may not be far behind. And we're talking about last year was it like a historically bad White Sox team. The Rockies are outpacing them, like 2-1 on losses right now. It's bad. It's tough. Pirates, no one can say they're surprised. They've been trying to do that cheap for years, and their own fans are exposing it now. It's out there, but so far in the AL, the Yankees and the Red Sox are good. That's not a shock to anyone. Tigers, the Guardians, and the Royals are all pretty good in the Central. That's fun. The Tigers just put Casey Mize on the IR, though, their best pitcher. So we'll see how they mitigate that. Mariners, the Astros, and oddly enough, the Athletics, who are homeless right now and playing in Sacramento, are all pretty decent out west. Athletics got to be the surprise team of the AL so far. In the NL, the Mets and the Phillies are way above everybody else in the East and probably will stay that way. The Cubs and the Cardinals are good in the Central, but that's the most balanced division because the Brewers and the Reds aren't far back in striking distance. So you got some good baseball there if you're watching the NL Central. And, to no one's surprise, the Dodgers are awesome out west. The Padres, though, are slugging it out with them. Giants are all right. They're not great. Then you've got, Colorado and Arizona and in reverse order there. So, but there's some fun baseball. There's still something very romantic about Major League Baseball. And this is the time of the year when you can kind of talk yourself into it because, again, it's a sport that has made some changes to try to speed its game up, but also does not require a lot of you if you just want to watch it. You just want to put it on. I mean, I'm hanging out yesterday, getting ready to go for a run, just kind of letting the warmth kick up a little bit, and I'm watching part of a Mets-Cubs game. I'm not a fan of either of those teams, but it was just good background. Sometimes that's fun. Go pick up a baseball game if you can. If you're near a major league park, you can check one out. Do so. Hey, if you're near a minor league park, go check those out too. That's really kicking in full swing now. That's always fun in the summertime. On the NFL, some news. Well, first off, George Pickens gets himself traded out of Pittsburgh. Could have seen that coming for a while. Him and Metcalf together it's basically the same receiver on either side of the field. You got to have complementary players, and the guy, had some questionable decisions, let's say. Not so much off the field stuff, but just wasn't the most pleasant person to work around. Anybody who followed him since Georgia and his time there kind of knows that. And they sent him to Dallas, which is an interesting island of misfit things right now. At least he knows in Dallas who his quarterback is, right? Is that going to work with CeeDee Lamb? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But gonna not be easy to completely figure that out yet. But, I get it for the Cowboys. It makes sense. They've actually had a pretty smart draft, I think. We'll get into that in a little bit. But Steelers, I still don't know what the plan is. And if it's waiting for Aaron Rodgers and one of his super veteran buddies to come bail you out, I don't know how that's going to work. And then Derek Carr, 11 seasons as a starter, hangs it up this year. I saw this tweet and it summed it up. I don't know if Derek Carr is the worst good quarterback I've ever saw or the best bad quarterback I've ever seen. But the dude had a way of just kind of keeping it together, staying on roster, getting paid, and doing well. And I'm not saying he's a grift or anything, but the dude made over $200 million. And he made 4 Pro Bowls and was in 2 playoff games, one of which he couldn't even play in because his ankle was broken. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how to sum up the career other than saying he got drafted by a franchise that was a mess, the Raiders. They started to get it together a little bit. He got hurt. Then they started to get it together again. Gruden got fired for reasons that will be debated for years as to why and how. And then it just was bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And then he gets out of there, out of the Raiders that were constantly trying to move anyway. So there was a lot of upheaval. And he goes to the Saints because he knows Dennis Allen from his time at the Raiders. And that just never works because the Saints organization needs to take the long look in the mirror and start over, and they don't want to. And now he's done. And I don't blame the dude. I think he looked around and said, I don't want my arm hanging loose and unable to use it when I'm 40. I've made my money. I've done what I'm going to do. There's nobody else that's going to pick me up on a contender right now. Probably. What's the point? I got other things I want to do. Pretty likable guy. Probably wind up on TV somewhere. I get it. Makes sense. Sure. Derek Carr, Hall of Good. Hall of Very Good? Debatable. Not Hall of Fame, but not everybody is. There's not that many quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. So, I get it. But it changes the dynamics because now the Saints who are looking at is this guy ever going to be able to come back this year? Is it just going to be surgery? What are we doing? Now they know, okay, we're starting over with our quarterback room. And what a room it is. I don't really do post-draft grades. I feel like, if a team drafts guys, it's because somewhere they had them on a board and they decided that was a need and they took them, and we'll see how it works out. Sure, my team personally, I think they had a great draft, but any of those guys going to be any good? I don't know. We'll see. Now, this is kind of fun time of year because rookie minicamp's going on. It's fun stuff to watch, but don't get too lost in all the little clips you see of guys spinning the ball around or, oh, gosh, look at his feet. They're not that good. Or he doesn't look like he's in shape. The guy's throwing up on the field. It's hot. They're running around. You go try that. Come on. Let's not get too lost in all that sauce. But it is fun because the NFL has created ways for you to get excited and stay excited about their sport year-round. And it's schedule release time now, too. We're going to get international games. We're going to get games on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday. The NFL knows how to build that brand. Oh, and let's not forget Monday. Yeah, that's still a thing. The NFL knows how to spread that brand around. They really, really do. They know even with 17 weeks and all those games, they've got a limited product, and they know just how to piecemeal it out to you. And look, I geek out over the schedule stuff. I think it's fun, to the point that just looking post-draft, post the bulk of free agency and what's going on now, I'm going to put out what I think are my picks of teams to finish last in every NFL division. I reserve the right to change these as I get more information, but I'm going to do these every month until we get up to the season. I've already put it out on the X Sphere once. You can follow me there at JRan here. I'll put it out again with the post of this show when it releases. But here are my picks for teams to finish last in every NFL division. We're going to go East, North, South, West, and we're going to go NFC, AFC on all of them. NFC East, I think the Giants are going to finish last. I had said previously the Cowboys. I now think the Giants will go ahead and be that fourth place team, though they may be improved. I do think they had a good draft. They've addressed some needs, but I think they may be further behind because I think the Cowboys had a really smart draft, and I think Washington and Philly are in a whole different category. In the AFC East, I'm sticking with my initial thinking that the Miami Dolphins are going to finish last. I still think they're going to finish last. I think the Bills are far and above in there. I think the Jets and the Patriots are going to have a very fun tussle for number 2 in there. I really think the Patriots can be improved. I think the Jets are getting better as well. Quarterback, big question still. NFC North, I got to pick one of these teams, right? And I'm going to change. I had initially said the Packers. I'm going back. I'm going with the Vikings right now because they have the one question mark that everybody else can answer. I don't know what J.J. McCarthy is at quarterback. I know what Jordan Love is and can be at quarterback, I think. I know what Caleb Williams is and can be at quarterback. And I know what Jared Goff is at quarterback. I don't know what J.J. McCarthy is. I think the staff is great. I think the team around him is great. I think Kevin O'Connell can get a lot out of him potentially, but I haven't seen it yet. I got no evidence of it. So I'm taking Minnesota to go last there. In the AFC North, the Steelers. What's the plan? What's the plan on offense? And moreover, what's the plan on defense? They drafted the typical Steelers draft. But is it going to make them any better? Are they going to catch the Bengals, the Ravens? Are they going to get in front of the Browns? I don't think so. I think the Steelers are in a real mess. I think it's time, and I think you're going to see that. NFC South, this is easy. It's New Orleans. They're in reset, whether they believe it or not. They totally are. Atlanta's going to be good. Tampa Bay's still good. I think Carolina's improving. So Carolina and Atlanta jockeying for those middle positions. I don't think the Saints are going to be much trouble for anybody this year. In the AFC South, I think the Colts, I think in the same situation, different reasons that the Steelers are. I think it's over there. I don't think they have a quarterback situation they can deal with. The Jags know who their quarterback is. They got to get something out of Trevor Lawrence, but they know who it is. In Tennessee, they just drafted Cam Ward. They know what they're going to be doing. Now, they're not going to be great, but they're going to be better. And they weren't terrible last year anyway. And then Houston is, after the sophomore slump, still a really good team, and they've addressed a lot of needs. I think Houston's going to be the best one there, but the Colts are going to be last in the AFC South, in my opinion. Then out west, NFC West, I'm going with the Cardinals. I don't know what they are on offense right now. I know who the players are. I know who's taking the snaps. I know what they're doing, but I don't know what their plan is. Do they want to be this wide open team? Do they want to run the ball a lot? They seem to be trying to improve on defense, but they don't have great defensive players. I don't know what they are anymore. I think the Niners are better. I think the Rams are really good. And I think the Seahawks are improving. I really think they're going to be good this year. And in the AFC West, and it hurts me to say as a fan, but I think the Raiders are going to be last place. I think they're going to be significantly better than they were. I really think that division is going to be very, very close with itself. But you've got the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Broncos in there. I think the Broncos and the Raiders are going to be fighting each other for that third and fourth spot, and it may be separated by one game when it's all said and done. I think the Chargers and the Chiefs are a little further ahead than that. So those are my picks to finish last. Giants, Dolphins, Vikings, Steelers, Saints, Colts, Cardinals, Raiders. Will that be right? Who knows? Will it be wrong? Probably. We'll revisit throughout the summer and as we get into the season before we do final picks. Bring on some friends to talk about that as well. So just a quick check-in here with you all. Hope you're doing good. Want to poll for something. Next show, we're going to do a bit of a mailbag. I've gathered a few questions, sports-related questions from folks, but if you've got one, again, drop it only on Twitter at jranhere, or you can email the show, sportsballgrinder@gmail.com. Give me a sports question you want answered from the point of view of the casual fan. That's what we're here for anyway, and we'll get to those on the next show. And then, like I say, we'll be talking about some college World Series baseball and softball very soon coming up. And before you know it, we'll be full swing into the summer. We'll have the NBA Finals to talk about. We'll get into some more MLB news. And, of course, there's always NFL news as we go forward here on the Sports Ball Grinder. Talk to you again soon.
Sports Ball Grinder, we roll with the game. News for the folks. Winning's the